Today we talked about unemployment, concerts, and having a victim mentality. Dealing with people who are perpetually suffering can put a strain on those relationships and your own mental health. If you feel victimized by our ranting, get over it and let us know on our Instagram or at our website, tiltednotster.com. Later, pussy.
Hello, my name is Edwin,
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Frantic.
and together we are Tilted Not Stirred. So what has you guys feeling tilted today? What's going on, guys?
Man, I've just been chilling, dude, living that unemployment life.
What?
Yeah,
You're saying my taxes going to you staying your ass at home?
I'm not on unemployment. I'm just unemployed.
Ah, okay, then that's
Yeah,
great. I'm happy
I'm
to
not
hear it.
leeching off the government. I wish I was.
He's like, oh yeah, in that case, that's great.
Hey, I pay
Jeff.
taxes too, all right? I had a job for a majority of the year. I'm entitled to get some of that back.
True.
No, just
I've
chilling.
never done unemployment. I'm dumb.
Yeah,
I'm really dumb.
probably when I should have taken it, I didn't do it either.
I mean, can't you only
I
be
would-
on it if you were fired?
I mean, that COVID stuff, people were just doing unemployment,
Yeah, that's true.
And making more money than they were actually
Dude, that
working.
still pisses me off. That people made more money than me working. I was like, what? I mean, that's partially my fault for not working at a place that pays me good enough. But like, at the time I was working at Amazon because it's like, well, who else is hiring at a time like this? That shit pissed me off. People were legit quitting. They're like, I'm gonna make more money, not working. I'm like, you sons of bitches.
Yeah, I felt that too. I was at Nordstrom at the time, and it totally felt like I felt like a chump.
You're a
being
hero.
out there.
You're a hero.
Yeah, I was a hero. Providing Gucci shoes or fucking jackets that no one needs.
I wonder if we'll ever get
Wow.
over that. The whole "you're a hero" thing.
No, I'm still upset
No,
about that. That's some bullshit.
I'm pissed. Yeah, I'm pissed.
As soon as they made everyone come back at Amazon, they were like, "Oh, but we're not gonna give you hero pay anymore." Like what?
But I thought I was a hero.
Yeah, like you want us here because we're essential workers. But hey, whatever. Fuckers.
That's a loud train.
Yeah. It was real nice seeing you guys at the homie's kid's birthday.
Yeah, it was super
I
chill.
must say. Yeah, it was dope.
It was a good time.
Yeah, we for the folks listening, we used to hang out like at least once a week for years and years, and then COVID happened, bada bing, bada boom. We don't see each other much, but then when we do see each other now, it's real nice. It's real nice.
Yeah, it was super nice.
That was definitely a highlight of my weekend. And then the homie's kid, dude, he is something else. It amazes me that the kid is only 2, and like I seen him at the
big.
beach. He's big. He's running on the sand like nobody's business. He's on the jumper, actually jumping at like 2 years old. I
He
don't
just
know.
wants to go fast, man. I
He just
respect
wants
it.
he's gonna be an athlete. He has to be. But I don't know. Maybe
was-
that's just
it was
like
really
a,
nice.
a gender stereotype we're putting on the kid. Like you're an energetic boy. You must play sports. What if he wants to be a painter or something?
Well, he's gonna be the best goddamn painter there
The
was.
best. That's true. After the birthday party, so I had a prior engagement already to go to another birthday thing, for the homie in Laguna. He has this thing where he doesn't. I think only maybe 3 or 4 people know his actual birthday, because he doesn't like people telling him happy birthday or trying to get him stuff. But it was his like birthday month or something, so it's like, okay, generally we know it's this month, but I don't know the exact day. And
So mysterious.
I know, so the most interesting man. But that was really dope. That's what I did this weekend. I was out there living my best life in the beach house that I don't own, but I like to think that I do for a second. Just staring out the window, looking at the empire I built, but I didn't build.
Yeah.
But the beach at this time of year is real interesting. because
It's very-
I thought it was gonna be cold, but it was hot, and I checked the weather, and it was even hotter than like Rialto, Corona, like all this, the IE, and I was just surprising as hell. But it was a dope weekend. Had a snake bite. Do you guys know what a snake bite is? It's a drink.
I know it's a drink.
It's-
a shot,
it's-
right?
No, it's nothing
Oh,
super interesting.
wait.
I might have made it sound more interesting than it is. It's basically half of a cider and then half of a Guinness or a stout.
Yo,
And
that sounds right up my alley, dude.
it's weird, but it's cool. And then when you order that at like a bar, they'll actually have it so that you can see like the split between the cider and the stout, which is cool. But when I did it, it was just it all kind of mixed together and it looked like dirt. But anyways,
You gotta like
that was
pour it
my
over
weekend.
A spoon, Frantic. You
I
pour it over a
was
spoon, it layers over itself.
I had
Yeah,
a
Jeff's a
friend there that was
bartender.
also doing the spoon thing, and I was telling him he looks like an idiot with the spoon, but I guess he was right, and I'm the idiot. So, yeah, that was basically my weekend.
That's
Edwin,
dope.
what did you do?
Let's see. Went to the homie's birthday, but I think I also went to. I went to a group love concert. That was sick.
Group
was
love.
really sick.
What kind of music is that?
Yeah. It's
have
it's kind
one
of like
song.
an indie rock kind of thing. They don't have one song. They have multiple good songs.
No, you've heard,
But
you've
there
heard
was-
Tongue Tied, right, Frantic?
Yeah,
does it go?
tongue tied.
Their one song.
How does it go?
Don't get me tongue tied. You know, it goes on.
Don't get no.
say a goodbye. Well,
Anyways.
you probably heard it. Anyways,
Maybe.
yeah, I went to that. It was really fun, extremely fun. Like
Was it packed?
people went a lot harder than I thought they were gonna go for group love, for sure. I wasn't expecting that much of like thrashing about on a concert like that, for sure. And then the band themselves went hard as fuck, you know. So it was.
Did they
just
ever
so
pause
much
the
fun.
concert or anything?
Did they
for
pause
people? Yeah, for people like to not repeat the recent events.
it? No, everybody
cool.
was pretty calm.
That's good.
Everyone popped off for like the one song,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then after
For Tongue
that,
Tied, right?
And everybody
Yeah.
else was chill. Yeah, all
And then
the
half
other
the
And then-
crowd
songs.
left
and-
after that.
and then after that, some people did leave. Some people were just like, "All right, cool. That's we're just gonna listen to live music now."
Yeah, that's cool.
But
'Cause I do wonder if there's gonna be an even bigger emphasis on like the crowd crush and stuff like that. Because Dream State was this weekend as well, this past weekend, and I wonder how that went.
From what I've heard, raves are always really chill.
Yeah,
They don't get too crazy in terms of like pushing and shoving towards the front.
Right on.
Yeah, so good
I
on
cut
them.
you off, Edwin. What else you got?
no, I mean that's it. That's really it. It was pretty fun. Very relaxing weekend. So you want to do your tabloid section?
Tabloids. This just in,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. You get
You
a
know,
booster.
run,
You get a booster. You get a booster. Boosters are now approved by the CDC for all adults.
How do I get one?
How do you
If
get
only
one?
people-
Well, I'm
how do
glad
you
you
get one?
asked. Look it up online. I'm not. I am
Oh,
not
I
going
guess
to be
I gotta do
giving
my own research.
I thought
people.
you. I thought
Do
you
your
were
own
gonna be a
research,
resource
Google
here.
that shit. I'm not going to
Yeah,
fucking tell you where to go.
We couldn't find that information on a Reddit post title.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah, I
Do
didn't
it
go that
yourself.
deep. I did not go that deep. But as far as what I've read, is that these boosters are basically composed of the same stuff in the current COVID vaccines. So I guess it's just maybe like a maintenance shot, I think.
It's just to keep your immune system,
Yeah.
used to the virus itself.
Cool. And then I read that the Moderna vaccine booster is half of the dose of the primary one. I don't know. Was that the bad one? Wasn't that the one that got you sick?
I've heard that
I-
Moderna's the one that ended up coming out on top
Oh.
after
Oh,
after it was all
shit,
said and
I-
done. Moderna ended
I
up
got
being the
the-
best one.
Well,
I
there
got
it
the good
is.
5G. Let's go.
Yeah, you got the best reception in the house.
Yeah, I thought I was being a second class citizen with my Moderna, but here we are on top.
That's what I've heard. Don't trust me, people.
Don't take
I
your.
just read the top. I just read the
You
headline.
just read the.
You just read the
Okay.
headline on Reddit.
Yeah, exactly.
right
I just read a
on.
random comment thread. All right.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna recommend the booster or not recommend it, but experts they recommend it to increase your immunity. So if it's something of a bit of a stress for you, definitely look into that.
Some other experts also recommend horse tranquilizers and horse medications. So
Ooh, that's pretty good too. So
yeah, you should definitely do that.
how can we get boosters of that? Or that's not how that works.
I thought you were gonna go into like a dentist rant or something along the lines of
No.
that.
But I think the consensus here, though, is that it's the boosters are cool and all, but I think it's still far more important to get the unvaccinated folks on that 5G. So it's still of a touchy subject because I think I forgot what the statistics were, but I think minorities were some of the most represented under the unvaccinated. So I don't know what kind of messaging it's gonna take for minorities, but I mean that's not our battle. But well, yeah, that's one news, and the other one it's a tragic. I'm sure by now everybody kind of knows what happened with the Rittenhouse stuff and like all political that got. Well, here's another political thing. So, yeah, I think it was yesterday. So this was Sunday, November.
Wait,
21st.
hold on. How can? Well, I mean, you're gonna say it. You're gonna say what the thing is, but you also have to explain how in the world this became political.
What, the
Because
Rittenhouse
what the fuck?
case?
No. The thing you're about.
Oh
to
yeah,
explain.
for sure. Yeah, I'm getting to that.
Okay.
Yeah, you hadn't even started explaining it.
Damn.
You
All
didn't
right,
even give him
I
the
got
chance,
excited.
bro.
I got
didn't even give him
excited.
the chance. Let the man speak.
In Wichita, Wisconsin, I hope that's pronounced that way. They were having a Christmas parade, and there's marching bands, there's people of all races and all that cool stuff. So they're having their little Christmas parade, and someone in a red SUV just decides to run some people over. And this person, his name is, well, I don't know if we say people's names on this podcast.
You're not supposed to save their names.
This person,
Generally, you're not supposed to advertise it, right?
this 39-year-old male from Milwaukee, he killed 5 people, and 40 more were injured. And this was like a huge thing because it's like immediately when stuff like this happens, everyone asks themselves like, why did he do it? And the reason why it's political again was because he's an African American man, which doesn't always fit the narrative that both what is it, CNN and Fox, they're always at odds with, like, well, who is it, what color are they, then all this kind of stuff. And so this guy, he has like anti-white rhetoric on social medias and stuff like that, and the people he killed were all like old white people. And so the reason why I say it's political again is because it's like, oh, this is racism against white people, and then CNN immediately comes out and says like, oh, this was not a terrorist attack. He was fleeing from a crime scene. And then the police department from Wichita, they said like, no, they disproved that, saying that this was not like a runaway from a crime scene or anything. And they're still trying to figure out the motives of why this man would do this. And it's unfortunate because he already had a record of basically trying to run people over. For some reason, this was like his weapon of choice. Because like it says here that he posted $1,000 bond on November 11th in relations to charges including domestic abuse, and I guess he tried to run over his baby mama with the car. And so it seems like this guy was kind of like somewhat of a criminal. And so it's truly unfortunate. So as of right now, there's 5 people deceased, and other people are in critical condition. Some people have already been able to get out of the hospital, and this shit's gonna get real political because
at the end of the day, why is
stupid.
it political? This man killed people. This man fucking killed people. You shouldn't try to gain anything politically on a fucking person who murdered people for no reason.
Yeah,
One way or the other.
You would hope for that, but I don't trust our news networks to not try to make this political.
That's some horse shit, dude. It's just a fucking nut job who killed people, and that's literally what it is.
Yep.
Why the fuck do we have to start? Is he black or is he white or is he? Dude, this guy's a fucking piece of shit. Like straight up.
Yeah, so they're currently trying to figure out the motives, like if this was premeditated or if, like, they're trying to figure it out right now. So, yeah, again, this was a Christmas parade. So there was a lot of families there that were, trying to have a good family time. So.
Damn, that's rough.
Yeah, it is rough. So that's maybe all we'll hear about it during the week when more things start getting revealed. But yeah, there it is. That is the news for the week. Should I start bringing in like nicer news? Maybe I'm just as bad as the news networks.
Yeah,
because they only report on the bad stuff.
Yeah,
this is just not. Shit.
I started off with the boosters. Okay, the boosters is good, right?
No, because there's politics and that shit too. It's just,
why is every major health thing?
It's who we are now. It's
political.
It's who we are. It's who we are now, and it's
so
fucking
annoying.
shitty. It's so shitty. Everything has to be twisted for somebody's gain politically. It's just the shittiest fucking thing.
It's almost as if like if you ask 2 people from like the opposite political sides, and they'll be like, "What are your thoughts on this?" He's like, "Oh well, what did John over there say? Oh well, he's for this. Well, what he said, but the opposite." And you're just like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
why is there no middle ground?
We should just turn this into a sports section.
Yeah, this is not.
Should I turn it into a
all
sports
right.
section?
Anyways, let's actually
if you guys
talk
want
about
sports, there's sports. All right, so
nah.
Let us know. We'll go over the play-by-plays.
Maybe that could be that too.
All right, so what are we actually talking about
let's
today,
just get
guys?
into the topic then.
I don't know. You came up with it.
Well, I mean, yeah, I did. I guess I did come up with it. I don't know why I started there, but
See what
we're
I did
talking
there,
about victim complexes.
Mm.
People who at any given moment twist and turn everything to make themselves the victim.
Yeah, there's real victims. There's people getting run over and killed. And then there's people who decide to make themselves victims for no reason.
Bro, see, I was just gonna talk about LeBron fighting that one dude. This like, what was it, yesterday? That's my example.
Oh, he
I mean,
hit
there's
the
very
guy in the face. Yeah.
There's very
Yeah.
real examples.
I'm
of
sorry I hit the guy
victimizing.
in the face that I didn't mean to hit in the face. Or what was the kid? How did the John Boy say it?
I said, I'm sorry I punched you in the face while I was trying to punch you in the face.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was great.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
get
we're
serious now. What? Okay, victim complex though.
Yeah.
What is that?
I already explained it. Turning every situation into victimizing yourself, or the other person victimizes themselves in a sense that you're always, or somebody else is always the bad guy. No, regardless of what the social situation they find themselves is.
Okay.
Regardless of whether it's on their own doing, they're the victims.
Am I gonna get another platform to rant about how much I hate the Astros again? Because I'm all for that.
Okay. Did the Astros victimize themselves?
Yes, they did,
Oh,
bro.
those
Oh my god, did they
bastards.
ever? So
Okay.
as if whoever's listened, obviously at this point has heard me hate on the Astros enough. They know what they did. They stole the World Series. So this year was the first year that the fans actually got to give it to them. Actually let them have it from the stands, say everything they need to say to them. And oh man, during spring training, it was bad. The fans let them have it. They let them have it. And the Astros players came out and they're like, why? Why are they, why are we getting all this hate? The commissioner made his report. Like, why do they care? The commissioner made his report.
Mm-hmm.
And they just kept saying that. They're like, why are they piling in on us? Like, what did we do? The commissioner made his report. They were never apologetic for what they did. Every step of the way, they were just like, we didn't do anything. Like, why are we getting all this hate?
That is that's a very, yeah, that's a great application of becoming a victim in a situation where they themselves were the perpetrators to this.
Wow.
I
think it's very important that you distinguish between like the consequence, like legal consequences, and then like the societal consequences, right? Because you could get handed down a punishment by the government or by a regulating body, whatever it is, but then you still have all the people that are judging you on like all the social medias, or in this case at the actual like stadium or arena. I don't know where they were playing.
They play at stadiums.
Cool. So that, right? And I think as much as you want to like move past it, I think there's still like, you kind of have to be like, okay, yeah, like fans weren't allowed to be in the stadiums to berate us, and this is their season to do it. Like, okay, we're just gonna take it and move forward, right? Like when you complain now, it's like even more hatred, because like y'all know you deserve this, and y'all are still playing the victim.
And now the fans know that they struck a nerve, so there's no reason to not keep going.
Yes, it's perfect. You keep on piling on.
Yep, exactly. Like, oh, they're actually annoyed by this. Well, it's not gonna stop now.
Have you guys been affected by a perpetual victim in your private lives?
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah. It's a little tough for me because I don't, as before I used to empathize with everyone, and then I got to the point where I'm not very empathetic anymore. And I kind of just, how do I want to put this? I wish more people just sucked it up and like, handled their business, and then that's it.
I mean, I used to want to be a person to lift people up all the time. And it was one of those things that I had just so many friends that would rely on me to pick them up and stuff. And then that was like, I prided myself on that. Like, oh yeah, like I'm very like helpful to these people. And eventually they just wear you down to the point where every single thing they've been wronged on, like, you just stop caring. And I feel you on that 100%. Like, you start losing empathy for these people who are constantly wronged by the world, by society, by anything. Mm-hmm. And they spin tales to make themselves a victim in every situation. And for those people, like, I used to have all the patience in the world, and now I have no patience in the world for them. And at first it made me like feel like a bad person. It made me feel like I wasn't there for people. I wasn't like good friends with them. But in reality, it was just, I was done with them. I was tired. And it became pathetic. And that's one of those words that I don't throw lightly. It's just, I don't like using that word. But they became pathetic to me. Like, they weren't doing anything to better themselves, or do anything to, change their mentality in that sense. And at first I was like, oh, maybe they're depressed, maybe this, maybe that. But they were functioning human beings until they came to me with all their problems. And it was just like, this kind of sucks. I don't want to be this person for you. Like, I really don't. You're a functioning human being with everyone else but me.
Yeah.
and I get to hear how the world wrongs you.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
you're a better person than I am, Dan. Because I mean, even back in high school, like more people confided in you than in me, and I think a huge problem with that was probably because I wasn't much of a. I mean, I listened, but I was the kind of person that tried to give advice or like kind of like point them in a direction to fix it. But a lot of people don't really want to hear the ways to fix it. They kind of just want you to just do the listening part. And so it's like when even now, like if my girlfriend tells me a problem and I just start trying to give her a solution, she's just like, "That's not what I, that's not what I wanted to tell you. Like I know what I need to do. It just irritates me."
People just want someone to vent to, man.
Yeah. So it's been very hard for me to just be a listener.
I mean I've done the same. I've been like trying to provide, trying to provide solutions to everything, but that's just not like honestly, it took me a long time to learn that, and my girlfriend likes complaining and I support it. I'm like, go ahead. Yeah, knock yourself out and then we can just talk about other things after, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But she catches herself, oh, I'm just complaining again, and I'm just like, dude, it's fine.
It's like,
Like,
yeah, you
oh yeah. Ooh. No, it's just it's fine. I'll complain about everything too. I'll be like, you know what, this, and that. But at the end of the day, you don't let it weigh you down to the point where the world is crushing you with the pressure of everything else. You know?
Damn. I was trying to think of examples of anyone in our lives that plays the victim all the time, and no matter how many times we talk to them, it just seems like we're not gonna go there. Oh shit. Um. Damn. The
I mean,
victim.
I've always been a listener. I think I've given advice once or twice, and it was just completely ignored. So I was like, well, there's no point. I'll just sit here and listen.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be like I'm good at listening because I'll look at you and I'll look like I'm listening, but in reality, I'm just zoning in and out half the time. So people just tell me a bunch of shit. I'm just like, ooh, keep going, man.
Damn,
Let it
really?
out.
Yeah,
For
let
real?
it out, bro. Yeah. Fuck.
Man.
No way, bro. Hey, that sucks, man.
Damn,
Hey, bro,
that's crazy.
Hey, I hear that.
That's crazy. That's dope.
I just told you my mom died. Oh, I mean, like,
For real?
Damn. Hey,
Damn.
that sucks, man.
Man. Man, like I don't know. Like I maybe I don't know. I wanted to see if you guys had any like real life situations like this that kind of like where your friendship just became that person got a whole hell of a lot out of you and you kind of just sat there.
Sat there and took it.
Sat there and took it. And it was like, oh, good friendship, guys. Good. This was good. Let's do it again next week. And it's just like, no, I don't want to do this again next week.
Yeah, that's tough. Because I remember, Edwin, you also were in a relationship where it was very difficult because of this victim complex.
Yeah,
and
and it's no longer a thing. So you just gotta separate yourselves from situations like that. I mean, honestly, it's very draining on a person to just be constantly barraged by somebody else's problems. There is no escape, no way out of that. And it's just like, can we talk about things that make you happy? Can we talk about things that inspire you? Can we talk about things that uplift you, things that you want to do with your life, something or other that makes you a more well-rounded individual, as opposed to just constant barrage of pathetic.
Yeah. I think right now, because of the all the social activism that's going on right now, it's given rise to a new form of like victims. I don't know if it's particular like this victim complex, but basically all the people who get offended on the behalf of others. And I've known quite a few people, especially because in university there's a lot of left leaning people and just people that are prone to wanting to be offended
on your behalf.
for others. And yeah, I mean, I remember in school there's a couple of people that I mean, I don't know what else to say without being too specific, but basically thinking ill of me or of anyone else because like some of us would like make some very crude jokes, but these are the kind of people that you can't say anything minorly offensive because it's just like they're like clutching at the at their pearls like I can't believe this, oh my god, you can't say that. And it's just these
Yeah,
people
I mean,
don't live in the real world, they live on Twitter. And
Dude,
Twitter is
my
not the real world.
my favorite example of this is every time Reddit mentions Nacho Libre, oh, the comment section is gold.
Oh,
It's just a
what?
bunch of white knight saviors that come in. That movie's just racist. I don't
What the
understand how
fuck?
anybody can like that movie. It's the most racist thing I've ever seen. I am Mexican. I thought Nacho Libre was one of the funniest things
It
ever.
was so good.
I have an aunt who's like super core Catholic values, super like she's super religious, Mexican AF. She thought that movie was hilarious too. Straight up, Mexican AF gets overly offended about everything. She loved that movie. She thought it was hilarious. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. Like Mexican as a culture just love seeing it representation period. So for people to come out and be against something like that is so universally accepted is just I don't know. I don't understand it.
yeah, that's a very, very good point. That it is like super. It's hilarious to us.
Mm-hmm.
Even when they make fun of us with like the safari vans and how many kids we have, like in movies, like I mean, shit's real.
Yeah.
Like that shit is real. Like that's funny. It's a joke. It's a joke at the end of the day that's based on some realness, and it's also kind of like playing on the ridiculous. But at the same time, it's just funny because you're being represented in a it's not fully your core values and culture and stuff, but
Mhm.
it's like present. It's there,
Yep.
you know?
Very
But
true.
getting offended on behalf of others is that's like the extensive form of the victim complex. It's like you've run out of things to be sad about in your life. Let's go be sad about some other people's lives that
On
you
their
know
behalf.
on
Yeah.
their behalf, even if they're not sad about it. It's just like,
Yeah, it shit used to piss me the hell off, and it was a few years where I was just really, really angry at how stupid people were.
Coney 2012, bro.
But then
Fuck.
once I really thought about it, like the times that we're in is kind of the reason why there's so many weak-minded people now, because we're like in the most peaceful time in like our history almost. And we have like unlimited access to things like the internet, and we're living in a totally different era that has basically enabled this. Because if I mean, yes, there's wars, yes, there's a lot of injustices, and there's a lot of people in the world still struggling and living very difficult lives. But it's the people that you hear the loudest on the internet are the ones that are living some of like the most cushy lives. And once I started thinking of it that way, and remembering how like people are a product of their environment, it's like, okay, well, I can't really blame people for not being like, let's say, as hard as the people in the 70s or the people in the 60s, or it's perceived that back in the day people just didn't get offended by anything. Well, it's because they lived in harder times. And so, harder times equal harder people. And then easier times like right now, it's, it just breeds what we got going on today.
That and social media hasn't helped out any of this. Like it's accelerated the fact of you got causes to things you don't even know about, but you're fully in support of because it's wrong. It's this or that or the other.
Yeah.
And it's just like, do you understand what actually is going on, or are you just mimicking stuff like that? You just parroting.
Yeah, that's one of the things right now that has me
tilted, not stirred.
Now it's kind of like a conundrum in my mind where I want social change to happen, but I don't know at what cost it needs to be. And it's mainly just because of the parroting, like how you just said, like you're just repeating things instead of like, how do I put it? It's like the movement feels shallow rather than it like having like any true meaning. I don't know. I'm not like super into like activism and stuff, so I can't really speak too much. Maybe it really is just like a numbers thing. It's quantity over quality. Maybe it really is just that. But at least that's how I feel about it.
What say you, Jeff?
I mean, awareness is never a bad thing, right?
Awareness and exposure. That's always a thing that I we've had conversations about this, Frank. I feel like awareness and exposure are things that really help people out. It's just the receptiveness of what those people are. Like, if those people aren't receptive to the exposure, you really can't do shit about that.
I think some people do come at it from like a good angle, right? But there are other people who just, they want to just get in on it for the clicks and then just move on to the next one. They'll just get on the hype movement, get their likes, completely forget about it the next day and just move on.
Yeah, narcissism. We're living in a form of narcissism that's unprecedented, During the Black Lives Matters, you see so many people out there just take my picture real quick, take my picture with this sign right now, and they'll get back in their cars and go home. And it's just like, that's the kind of shit.
Ooh, the people who who tout like socialism and like tax the rich, and then
drive-by activism.
They get really famous off this stuff, and then they in turn start buying like $1 million homes and like drive really nice cars, and they engage in the capitalism that they're so like it's kind of like living long enough to see yourself become the villain. That's always my favorite.
Hey bro, you're playing a dangerous game with Chino, dog. You need to calm down.
Chino? Well, he a socialist?
You're getting real close.
Oh, because he's obsessed with AOC?
Yeah. You're teeter-tottering around this. That's the homie Chino. Yeah, AOC is the bae. But
yeah, she's not even like the worst example. She's an example, but like, she's doing her thing. I'm not mad at her. I'm more mad at the people who shit on her online because that only feeds more into like her base as well. It's the same thing with like Trump. The more you shit on Trump, the more people will support him.
How do we get into politics, man? We're talking about victims.
Because victimhood is political now. Everything's political. Fuck.
Shit. That's unfortunately it's true.
Maybe we should just get back to like just your day to day in your community, because that stuff's less political than, I don't know though. A lot of people they bring Twitter into their real lives.
Well, before it turned into that, I was just gonna say that social media just gave a platform to narcissists. Like now they're instead of just broadcasting to like a select few people, they can just broadcast themselves to the world.
Is that us?
Cue X-Files music.
And that's the end of the podcast. We go full circle and we realize we're the actual
We're the problem.
narcissists. This is the end of our podcast forever, guys.
Yeah,
No, but,
I speak the least on these, so what does that say? What does that say about you guys?
I just have I have a lot of more unfiltered things I would say about this stuff, but I've already gotten to that point where it doesn't matter. It's like me screaming into like the void, so it doesn't matter anymore.
Did you just turn yourself into a victim, Panic?
I guess so. I'm a victim of our society.
We've gone full circle. Here.
Full circle.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
we live in a
like
society.
Here in California, I'm just not able to voice my opinion openly for fear that I'm gonna
go to
be
Texas,
canceled.
bro. Go to Texas. Bro.
They'll listen to me.
They'll listen to you. They got you.
Yeah. The most what is it? Accepting society, the one that's more open, the most liberal, is the one that happens to be the least tolerant. That's a yikers.
How about...
I don't really share that view, but how about we move on?
Yeah.
I'm a victim. I'm behind enemy lines.
Oh god, this has turned into the victim.
Tilted Not Stirred does not share the opinions of any individual member.
I
in the
am
show.
tilted, not stirred.
I am the Senate.
Yeah. His narcissism is off the roof. It's through the charts. It's over 9,000.
Get all your references in now.
Shit. All right, this podcast went off the rails every which way, and I was just trying to see like a interaction you had with, friends or people around you that may be victimizing themselves to a point where you just don't care. So like you need to like check that shit or tell them that, hey, go get therapy.
Yeah, everyone's got emotional baggage. Dump it on a therapist, not your friends.
Yeah, work through it, dude. You got to work through it so that when you come back, your friends are here to party with you, not, fully get weighed down by your issues all day, every day, 24/7. I mean, all day, every day, 24/7. That was redundant, but you know what? We'll take it.
How to say one thing 3 times.
Hey, I know this may not be like as far as like being able to be labeled a victim complex, but it really irritates me when people scream at other cars while driving, because they feel like the people around them are all driving stupid, and they get angry when somebody makes a mistake, as if like no one's ever, like they've never made a mistake before. So like they've been the asshole to someone else, but when
they make a mistake, they stay real quiet.
Yeah. I know that's not victim complex, but it's kind of a little under that maybe.
I witnessed a guy. So I was off the freeway on an off ramp. I was waiting for the light to turn green, and the light turned green, but none of us were moving. Right, there was 2 lanes that are gonna turn left, and I was on the leftmost lane. None of us were moving because this guy's car broke down, and he's the very first one on the line. So this guy's car broke down, and we're all kind of like trapped behind him.
In both lanes?
No, on the one lane, one lane that I was on, I was trapped behind them. I was the third car, and there was a Challenger behind me. Started honking his nuts off. He's just right. He's just honking, and then finally we get some clearance and like on the other left lane, so we kind of went around this guy, right? But the Challenger couldn't wait. So as I was trying to make my turn, he goes all the way around into the rightmost lane and cuts back into the second lane to make a left. So he's right next to the guy whose car broke down, but in front of me, because I was trying to move out of the way, and then he kind of cut me off so he can go there. He rolls down his window and starts screaming at the guy. And I'm just like, dude, this guy's car broke down. What the fuck do you gain from rolling down your window and screaming at him? Like, does you think he wants to do this? But in reality, I don't know what the fuck was his problem. But you know, he's a total jackass, and he speeds off. He speeds off, and he ends up at the red light where I was, and I was just like, dude.
You should have put your window down.
It's like, dude, what the fuck's your deal? You sped off, and then like you're right here. I just made the turn with you. I was right behind you, and real nice and slow, pulled up right next to you. Like, what is your deal?
Yeah, I do think that when people go off the rails like that and like they decide to yell at someone or they get pissed off at someone, I think in that moment, even like people that they view themselves as super tough, the moment that you're off your center of like your emotional center, right? And you go off the rails and you become emotional, I think you're kind of playing the victim. And so that's why I always try to stay in my center and I don't get offended by things, or I like try not to yell at people, because it's just I saw a clip on the YouTube Shorts, and it's Mike Tyson. I don't know if you guys have kept up with Mike Tyson, like how he is now. He's basically like a sage. So he went from being a very ruthless boxer and fighter to becoming like this person that I admire because of like his just take on life now. He's just so, it's hard to describe, but he basically whenever he speaks, the things he says hit you really deep, because it's like very mature, and like you're like, holy shit, this is not the Mike Tyson that, he's not the vicious guy.
When you can beat everyone's ass, like, I don't think you have anything to prove.
Yeah. And so he's just like a really sensitive and emotional guy now, right?
Yeah.
And
he was literally the baddest man on the planet. He was the first guy with that name.
And in this one short, so the guy that he's talking with, and like I think it was a podcast setting, the guy was talking about how somebody did him wrong, and so he just completely cut ties with him, and that, he basically said, fuck that guy. And Mike told him, like, no, you don't do that, because then the devil wins. And then he's just like, you're saying that if somebody does me wrong and I cut ties, that's a bad thing. And he said, yeah, because then he's your master now. Because he changed you. And the guy was just like, oh, okay. Like, it hit him. And then when I heard that, I was like, holy shit. When somebody pisses you off, they're in control of your emotions. And now all of a sudden you're not in control anymore. And that person's like, quote unquote, your master, because they're controlling your moves. And
so what's the answer here? You have to hold that guy's nuts, or what?
The answer there is you let others be pissed off and live their lives that way, being controlled by others. And then you stay in your center.
Well, if you just remove that negative force in your life, is it really holding control over you?
Yeah, because they changed you.
No,
his point is that now you're holding resentment for someone, and now, like, let's say you cut someone off and you see them walking down the street, and you see them but you avoid them, like you see how like that person now commands something in your life.
I see what you mean now.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I understand, but you could still cut someone off and just not have them affect you, right? You can just be like,
you can forgive and forget.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't need these people in my life, but like if they're around me, I'm not gonna ignore them.
Yeah.
Right. But if like I'm not gonna it's just more like I'm not gonna make the effort anymore.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think his point was definitely about forgiveness, and that even if you see that person again, like, talk to them like normal, whatever. It doesn't mean you have to like fuck with them and like, hey, let's, I have a party in so and so place. Like, you want to come, or whatever. Like, maybe you don't have to be friendly, but you can be cordial with someone. I think is basically where he wants to get at with that.
Yeah, come meet at my house. Fuck my wife.
Hey, chill.
Nah, just kidding. But yeah, I mean, shit. Is that it? Is that everything we gotta say about victimizing yourself and others?
I'm good.
We good?
I think
What do
so.
you got?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter what we say about it because victims are gonna victim, and I don't know. I don't know where I was going
I
with that.
mean,
Winners are gonna win. Victims are gonna victim.
Narcissists are gonna narcissize.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, here's the thing that I kind of want to like think about how you affect others. I mean, I've always said that. I've said that multiple times
Mhm.
in the podcast. And if it's just you all the time, and if it's all about you, try to. I mean, narcissists are probably never gonna have the self reflection of like, oh, am I talking too much? Is this,
That
is this all about me?
That is
They're
such
probably
a good
not gonna
point.
have that.
That
Yeah.
narcissists aren't gonna realize that they're the common denominator in all their misfortunes. Yeah.
All right. Well, if you're friends with a narcissist, how about that? We can reach those people. The people who are getting beat down by these narcissists that just stop taking their shit, man. Move on.
Personal accountability is always gonna reign supreme.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this and you find yourself being the victim of someone with the victim complex,
And you yourself do not have a victim complex.
good luck.
Yeah. Like the sage Riley from the Boondocks said, if I didn't want to get pissed on, I'd move out of the way. And that's literally sage advice right there. All right, so that's been our podcast.
Where can the
That
people
brings
find
us-
us?
I don't know anymore.
I don't know either.
You can reach us at our website, tiltednotstirred.com, where you can find links to our Instagram and Twitter. You can listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube.
Remember to join us to share your questions and voice your thoughts on what has you tilted, not stirred.
Goodbye.
Adios.